What's up, Bills Mafia? Let's talk about something we all love, our Buffalo Bills, and how this team is doing everything it can to get better and chase that Lombardi trophy. Brandon Beane's front office has been cooking all offseason. Sean McDermott's defense is getting younger and faster. And yes, the wide receiver room is packed with talent. But with all that depth, there's a real question. Who actually makes the cut? Before we dive in, do me a favor. If you love the Bills, smash that like button to help more fans find this video. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. Let's build this Bills Mafia community stronger than ever. All right, let's start with the headline that's got everybody talking. Adam Schefter sounded the alarm this week. There's not room for all of them. Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about the jam-packed wide receiver core that GM Brandon Beane built. And now, with the addition of Elijah Moore, the battle for a roster spot just got even more intense. Let's rewind for a second. Elijah Moore was once a second-round pick out of Ole Miss. Big-time potential. But he's bounced around, 2 years with the Jets, 2 with the Browns, and now he's landed in Buffalo on a 1-year, $5 million prove-it deal. And Bills fans, I gotta tell you, he might just explode with Josh Allen throwing him the rock. This is the best quarterback Moore has ever played with. He's gone from Zach Wilson and Deshaun Watson to an MVP caliber QB who knows how to sling it. Adam Schefter called it a low-risk, high-upside move, and that's exactly what it is. If Moore finds chemistry with Josh Allen in camp and preseason, he could easily carve out a key role, maybe even that WR4 spot. But here's the catch. There's just not room for everyone. Let's take a look at who's actually in this room. Right now, Khalil Shakir, newly extended and likely your WR1 key on Coleman, the exciting second-round rookie with sky-high potential Joshua Palmer, a reliable, physical veteran just signed from the Chargers Curtis Samuel, the speedster brought in from Washington, dangerous in space KJ Hamler, once a top prospect, now battling for relevance Tyrell Shavers, saw some action last year. Jalen Virgil. Another returnee, Elijah Moore. The newest face with serious speed and versatility, Caden Prather, 7th-round rookie. Big body, intriguing upside 3 UDFA rookies, Hal Presley, Kelly Akarayi, and Steven Gosnell. That's 11 names. 11. And as Schefter pointed out, the Bills aren't likely to carry more than 6 wide receivers, unless someone contributes heavily on special teams. So let me ask you this. Who are your 6? Because these decisions are going to be tough. While the wide receiver battle heats up, let's not overlook what's happening on the other side of the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Maxwell Hairston, your new CB2 opposite Christian Benford. This kid is legit. The Bills took him in the first round out of Kentucky, and analysts are already calling him one of the most athletically gifted corners Sean McDermott has ever coached. Let that sink in. This is a guy who ran a 4.28 40-yard dash at the combine. That's not just fast. That's elite NFL level burner speed. And this isn't just about speed. This dude is a playmaker. Over the last 2 seasons, Hairston racked up 6 interceptions, 10 pass breakups, forced fumbles, and even returned 1 pick for a touchdown. Chris Trapasso from CBS Sports named Hairston as the 5th most impactful rookie in the entire league. Not on the Bills, in the NFL. Here's the deal. With Benford on one side and Hairston on the other, plus Taron Johnson in the slot, the Bills suddenly have one of the most exciting young secondaries in the league. And don't forget, this defense led the NFL with 32 takeaways last year. Now they've added a ball-hawking speedster to the mix. So what do we take away from all of this? First, Brandon Beane isn't just throwing darts at a board. There's a clear strategy here. Build depth, create competition, and let the best players rise. In the WR room, that competition is fierce. Someone with real talent, maybe even a veteran, won't make this roster. And that's a good problem to have. At cornerback, the team found an immediate contributor in Hairston, who might turn into a star under McDermott's guidance. Just imagine what this defense could look like come week 1. And let's not forget, all of this is built around one goal. Help Josh Allen and this team take the next step. We were this close last year. Top of the AFC East. A trip to the AFC Championship game. But we fell short against the Chiefs. That's not good enough for this. Team, not anymore. Beane knows it. McDermott knows it. Josh knows it. And now you know it too. Let's take it back to 2017. It was the NFL draft. The Kansas City Chiefs traded up to the 10th overall pick, a pick they got from us, the Buffalo Bills, and used it to select none other than Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, that guy. Fast forward 1 year, and with the draft capital we received in that deal, the Bills found our guy, Josh Allen, in 2018, the rocket-armed kid from Wyoming, the future face of the franchise. And since then, Mahomes and Allen have gone toe-to-toe year after year, playoff after playoff. They've become the AFC rivalry. Think Manning versus Brady, but for the next generation. But now, in 2025, those two franchises, the Bills and the Chiefs, are back at it again. This time, they're competing for the same quarterback. And no, we're not talking about a blockbuster trade or a high-profile free agent. We're talking about a little-known, under-the-radar name that both teams are suddenly eyeing with real interest. Enter Paxton DeLauren. He's not a household name. Heck, he wasn't even a top 20 undrafted quarterback, according to most analysts. NFL.com had him ranked 25th out of 28 UDFAs at the quarterback position. But guess who's after him? The Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Yep, both organizations have reportedly reached out to DeLauren with minicamp invitations. He's officially in demand, and by two of the most quarterback-rich franchises in the league. So what gives? Why are Mahomes and Allen's teams battling for a guy almost nobody else is talking about? Let's break it down. DeLauren is a specimen. At 6'5" and 229 pounds, he looks the part of an NFL quarterback. Last season at Southeast Missouri State, he threw for over 4,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 15 picks. Okay, 15 INTs and a 59% completion rate. Not ideal. But let's not forget, he had the most pass attempts in his career by far in 2024. He was carrying a heavy load for that offense. But the real kicker? He can run! DeLauren racked up 457 rushing yards and 10 rushing touchdowns during his college career. Sound familiar? It should. Because that's the kind of dual threat style Josh Allen thrives in. It's no surprise Buffalo would be intrigued by a guy with size, athleticism, and the raw tools to possibly mold into a depth piece or developmental QB. Now, here's the real question. Do the Bills see another Josh Allen-style player they can bring in, coach up, and stash on the practice squad? Or is this simply about competition in camp? And here's where the rivalry element gets spicy. Because out of all the quarterbacks available, Kansas City also came calling. Are both teams seeing something the rest of the league missed? Or is this just a good old-fashioned case of two powerhouses trying to get a leg up on each other? We've seen it before. When two dynasties battle this hard, every inch matters. Even when it comes to a guy like DeLauren, who may just end up as a backup or a camp arm, the psychological game is very real. Could Kansas City be trying to block the Bills from developing a hidden gem, or vice versa? This isn't just about depth. This is chess, not checkers. Let's talk about camp arms for a second. Because to the average fan, these guys barely register. But they're essential to a team's off-season operation. They run drills. They throw the rookies. They let the other QBs rest their arms. But here's the thing. Sometimes camp arms become roster guys. Look at guys like Taylor Heinicke, Nick Mullins, or even Taysom Hill. All of them started as long shots and carved out real NFL careers. Now, I'm not saying DeLauren is destined for superstardom, but you better believe Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott are doing their homework, because if there's even a 5% chance that he becomes something more, that's a bet this front office is willing to make, especially when your entire season can swing on a backup QB. This story adds another page to the legend of Mahomes versus Allen, but in a way none of us expected. They've faced each other in the playoffs multiple times. They've battled in the snow, in shootouts, in heartbreakers. They are tied together in history because of that 2017 draft. And now, the teams behind those QBs are once again fighting. This time for a developmental quarterback who might never see a regular season snap. But it matters because every battle, every competition, every roster decision is part of the bigger war between these two AFC giants. And DeLauren, believe it or not, might be the next footnote in that rivalry. All right, Bills Mafia, now it's your turn. What do you think about this wide receiver battle? Can Elijah Moore beat out KJ Hamler or Curtis Samuel for a spot? Does Keon Coleman live up to the hype? And on defense, is Maxwell Hairston about to become the next Tre'Davious White? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know who you'd keep on that 53-man roster. And again, if you love content like this and want more exclusive insights on your Buffalo Bills, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. This season's going to be wild, and I'm bringing you every twist and turn. Let's go, Buffalo. See you in the next video.